Alrighty, here. Hey everyone, Sarah here with Naturally Inspirational. I'm jumping on today because I had a lot of people interested in our dandelion salves and how we create them. So I am looking at two screens today. We are live on TikTok and on the Facebook group. And I figured that I'll go ahead and share everybody kind of what we do at Naturally Inspirational, since I'm the crazy dandelion lady, and yes, I'm very well aware of it. I like to collect dandelions, I like to make things with dandelions, and I like to make dandelions known to the world that it is not a pesky weed. It is absolutely a weed that we love and adore. And so today I had a video go live on Snapchat and on TikTok. I actually shared it from TikTok to Snapchat and it actually blew up. I had a lot of customers go ahead and order. I had a lot of great questions, and so today I am jumping on here with the Facebook group for those that have joined from TikTok to Facebook. Welcome for joining. Thanks for joining us today. And if you are watching from TikTok, thank you for joining us. If anybody has any questions, anything, please let me know as we go ahead and work through going ahead and making our salve this morning, as I am I am going to be making a lot of salve today. So today we're at least going to cover one of the batches that I'm going to make, because I do make smaller batches of salve. So stay tuned, ask questions. I'll be reading the comments as we're making it, and I'll kind of try to explain it along the way. I'm also recording this because I'm going to try to share it in little clippets for you guys to watch later on if you're interested. So we're going to get started. With that, I'm actually going to show you the recipe where you can actually go get it. So I'm going to grab the book because I forgot to grab the book. I have all of my recipes available on Amazon. My other screen is really far down and I don't like it. People can't see what I'm showing everybody else. Alrighty, so this is the book Dandelion Magic. Yes, it is backwards because I am front facing so I can see myself. This book is written by me. You have 20 DIY projects in here. This book is not in color. The rest of them are. I have a copy that is not in color. So with this, you will find 100 cooking recipes, 100 medicine making recipes, which includes dandelion wine and dandelion salve of exactly how to make it. I have the recipe memorized because I've made it so many times, but for all of you, let's see how fast I can find it. I'm working on a whole nother book, so I've been quite turned around and making a lot of things. But first step before, I'm in projects, that's why. Okay. The first thing that you need before making any salves is to go ahead and create your infused oil. What oil you want to use. What's the base of the oil that you want in your salves? Do you want it to be tallow? Do you want it to be olive oil? Do you want something else? So we do have a recipe right here of dandelion infused olive oil. This is something that you can make at home yourself. I actually have two batches that just finished right here. I have a level machine. It's actually for marijuana, but I use it for herbs to infuse into olive oil. And I use that to go ahead and create my olive oils that I use in my salves to create that medical property to it. So right after that, we have one exactly made for dandelion olive oil. You can go ahead and change up all the amazing things in there that you need. Every recipe can be altered depending on what you want in it, if you're allergic to something. That's the fun thing I love about making your own stuff. So, over here we have the recipe Dandelion Salve. If you want to take a screenshot of the screen of this, you're more than welcome to. We have two phones here, so I'm just holding it up so you can take a picture if you want. I do share the pictures of these recipes on my Facebook page, Naturally Inspirational. I'm releasing one every week. So if you are interested, one of the pages from Dandelion Magic or Herbal Magic are consistently being shared on my Facebook page if you want to just have a legit picture. So there is that. TikTok just tried to violate me for trying to sell a product. I'm not selling a product. I'm telling you where to go get it for free. I literally have it for free. You don't have to purchase anything. And today, I'm going to show you how to make it. So, it's all free topic. So, the first thing that you're going to need is a kitchen scale. So, with this scale has tare, units, we have kilograms, milk, grams, pounds, ounces, milliliters, blah, 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 blah. I like to use specifically grams when I make mine. So This whole thing is at 0, but before we actually start using this, I'm going to slide this over, because I don't need all that on my counter space. If anybody knows what this wonderful machine is right here, if you know what a double boiler is, this would be a double boiler. A double boiler is where usually you have a pot of water on the stove, you're boiling water, you have a glass bowl on top that you're melting something in, but you can't have it mix in with water. So with that, this is a double boiler in one, in my opinion, because you don't need water, it heats it up, it cooks it, and it works wonderful. I use this for all of my salves. It's absolutely been a lifesaver. If you are looking to get a double boiler, there's ones that the spouts come out like up here, but the bottom of the pot's like way down here. Well, you have to tip that whole pot like this in order to get that little bit amount out, which for me is a pain in the butt. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a foot or something because this is not sitting flat. But anyhow, this baby hooks up all the way to 130 degrees and is currently off, so I don't have to burn myself. I can pick it up, show you guys. I'm waiting for your attention and your response. Can I be your friend? I want to support you. I absolutely love everybody to be my friends. Do you, can't see it, want a lion or a TikTok universe? That was a great question. I have no idea what the answer would be for that. I am doing my first live here on my new account. I lost the one account already, so I am game for friends of everywhere, all around, basically around the Dandelion. I absolutely love connecting with everybody, so with that, if you are on TikTok and you want to send me gifts, you're more than welcome to, but honestly, I'm on here for you guys, to show you guys what I use, how to do this, so you guys can do it at home. So this is a wax melter. You can buy these on Amazon. I am not promoting this product whatsoever, but if you are going to buy a wax melter to do your salves, get a spout that's on the bottom. That is a lifesaver. I use that one constantly. I went to a grad sale, bought one. I was like, hey, yeah, another wax melter. I could use that one in my Dandelion class because I teach a class in Cozy Cat and Save for Michigan. I didn't look at the spout, and it doesn't have the spout on the bottom. It's got it on the top, and everything drains through a hole down to the spout, but it's not like a caved in. It's all flat, so you have to shake it and scooch everything to this hole, and I'm like, ugh, irritating. So, you will need your essential oils when you're creating your own salves. You are allowed to use whatever essential oils you want. You can use as much as you want or as little as you want. I have a recipe to where I do like 5 drops and that's it, because I don't want it to be over potent. I want it to be something that I can use every single day. That light is starting to really annoy me. I'm switching my lights, hold on. There we go. Now it's not a blur behind me. So, in what I'm using today, this is lavender that I order on Amazon. This is by California, 100% pure essential oil. I'll be using that in my salves today. That is the last step that we'll be using, but if you're wanting to pick essential oils, you can pick whichever ones you want. But in my salves, I specifically use lavender and spearmint. This jar, I have just a little bit of spearmint left. I have a whole 16-ounce jar out in my garage that I can refill this, but for today, I'm not refilling it. I'm just showing you what I got. And the reason it's in this jar is because I don't want to open up the big jar that I have, because it is actually 100% pure spearmint oil made here in Michigan. Just for the 16-ounce bottle I bought was $500. It should last me quite a few years because it is very, very pure. So that's why a little amount of this goes a long ways. So with that, we're going to start measuring. I use this as my dropper to go ahead and get my drops out of. If anybody wants to use a baby dropper, you're more than welcome to. I had like 10 of these after having kids, so I was like, yeah, I'll just use that. It'll be easy. Alrighty, so to go ahead and now create your salves, we're going to put everything into the pot, and we're going to get this party started. Alrighty, I like to use a easy cleanable bowl that doesn't have a hole in it. And I place that right on my scale. We'll be doing that here in a second. And this is another wonderful friend. If you're filling up those little tins that you like to buy salves in that are easy to carry, easy to put in your pocket, this makes it easy to fill them, because those tins, and you're putting hot wax in them, you can't hold them at the same time you're putting the salves in. So this cool thing is you can fill it up and then you can hold on to each side, and you can pour however much into each section. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that on camera today for you guys, so I wanted to show you what it looks like. This is used to actually melt chocolate. So this is something you'd find in the baking section of a store. It has been a lifesaver, and I'm actually going to be changing to a different unit, but the unit that I ordered came in broken, and they claimed to ship me a new piece for it, and they never did. So, I'm going to wipe this out. Has some dog hair in it, and we don't need any dog hair or anything in our salves. And voila. So now we're going to place this right here on the scale. And I'm on grams. It's already at 0, but when obviously you put the pot on, you're going to want to tar it out again because this bowl alone is 335 grams. We don't need that in our recipe. So it is, I'm going to try to estimate with you guys because I kind of fibble a little bit with my ingredients. And when I mean fibble, I don't fibble a lot. I've made big batches, I've made little batches, and I prefer to stay making the little batches. So I do 90 grams, 90 grams. So it is 10 grams of olive oil, 10 grams of beeswax, 10 grams of shea butter to a half cup of olive oil. Well, with that, if you want to increase it, that's where you have to start doing your math. So I do 90 grams. My instructions are somewhere, and I don't know if they're in the house. But I have it written down somewhere. Those are jars. And I buy shea butter off of Amazon. So it comes in this wonderful bag. This is shea butter. You don't really want to handle it with your bare hands because it's like conditioner on your hands. You don't want a ton of conditioner on your hands. Alrighty. I'm going to go find my recipe little card so I can show you guys kind of what I look at every single day to make this to ensure that we are following the recipe because my coffee is still kicking in this morning and I want to make sure I'm making this right for you. So I will be right back. It was in the house. Okay. So right here. If you can see it or not, I have no idea. But this is 10 grams of shea butter, 10 grams of beeswax, and a half cup of olive oil. And then over here, I turn it, and I have 90 grams, and it's a 4.5 olive oil, which makes about 22 2-ounce jars, or 23, give or take, depending. So this is my original recipe I got myself, and that is what we will be using. So I go on 90 grams of this, 90 grams of that. I typically use my beeswax first, so it doesn't stick to everything. Pull a chair over here because I have my beeswax in a very big container. And yes, it is 2 different colors because that's what Amazon sent me, and I will never recommend anybody to buy beeswax off of Amazon again. Ever. Beeswax on Amazon is horrific. It is the worst thing that you could probably buy. Buy it from a local place. It is the best, safest way. So right there I'm at 90 grams, and if you're looking for a thicker consistency, you can add a little bit more. So I typically go up to 100. Yep, that's 101 right there. So there's that. And like I said, I always go back and double check. It's 90 grams. Alrighty, so pull that into your double boiler, which I have over here on the side of me. I do have it plugged in, and I do not have it on yet. You can now turn your unit on if you'd wish to make it. Of course, make sure the power cord is not touching the unit or you can melt the power cord. And this is not something that you want to do on a countertop because you're going to want that spout off the side of the countertop if it's at the bottom because you want to be able to get the jars in there. So, with that, we're going to turn this baby on to, you don't want to go above 100 degrees, 110 degrees, sorry, because that's about where your maximum heat capacity is in order to keep the herb base in there to go ahead and create that medicine base. So what we're doing right now is our olive oil is already infused at 165 degrees. Now we're putting it into a salve, but we need to keep the beeswax and the shea butter to mix together, so you're just melting that down to mix everything together. So now, I must have beeswax stuck to me. Wow, I'm dirty. So, what did I touch? Oh, I was outside building a fire. I didn't see my arm being all dirty. Okay, let me wipe that off, because I don't like that. I don't need soot. That's what happens when you're a busy mom, constantly doing things. Alrighty, so the next step is, that's on, so that's going to melt, and now we're going to add our shea butter. There we go, that's a little bit better. When the hubby's outside raking leaves, go start the fire for him so you can start burning them. Alrighty. So the shea butter, I typically don't put directly on my scale because it sticks to everything. So I come over here, grab a piece of paper towel, and I'll place that on my scale, flip this over. Alrighty. Once that kind of measures what it is, I let it tar out, and then I cut this up. And yes, I am using a putty knife to cut it. I found it to be easier to maneuver with what I'm wanting to do, and that gives it the flexibility that I'm looking for. That right there isn't too big of a piece. This is 252 grams, and we only need 90. So we'll take that section off. We're looking at 103, 101. Take a little bit more off. We're sitting at about 95 right now. Take another shaving off. 93. Alrighty, so this is 93 pounds, right? Grams, 93 grams. I work with so many pounds, this is grams silly. Alrighty, put that in there, let that melt down. And now we get 4.5 cups of olive oil. And this is my favorite part, because I don't use a jar anymore to do this. So I'm going to fold this in half, because we're not going to use this at the moment. We're going to put this over on the other table so I don't spill it. So, you over there with the ingredients. I need a pitcher. Because I'm not using the glass jar. Where are my pitchers? There we go. Okay, so this bad boy does 4 cups. If you guys can see it or not, it says 4 cups right here. 4 cups right here. So we're going to use this bad boy to go ahead and measure. And I go ahead and infuse everything in 3-liter bottles, so I have a ton of different 3 liters. I'll kind of give you an idea of what I use. So right here is calendula infused olive oil. Yes, all my olive oils are Kirkland brand olive oil. I go to Costco and I buy them in bulk. And on the top, once I infuse them, I write the names on them. I don't worry about the dates because I fly through them so much in the year, but if I get to the end of the year to where I'm still infusing, I do write the dates on them so I know what year it was made and so I'm not confusing it. I always use the old before I use the new. And you know when olive oil looks bad is when it looks bad. Alrighty, so here we have Yarrow. This is the same brand olive oil, and yes, I wrote Yarrow right here on the top so I know of the difference. When you infuse anything, when you make anything with herbs, you want to label it. If you do not have it labeled, you're not going to remember what it is 6 months from now. You're going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I did something with that, what's in it? I don't remember, but it's good for something. And then you're like, well, what do I do with it? So I have a ton of that, but I specifically started a batch of dandelion olive oil last night for this morning because I did use up all of my dandelion olive oil, so this is what we're going to be using this morning. Or afternoon, because it is now the afternoon. This is freshly infused. My machine can infuse olive oil in 5 hours. My next batch, which is another 3-liter jug like this one, just finished. So I now have 2 jugs that I can make salves with. And this is almost completely melted, so we're going to get this poured in with it. Whoop, spilled it on the counter. It's very easy to spill these, especially when filling them up. Alrighty, so now I'm at 4 cups, and I am going above it because I can guesstimate the half a cup. And that, even though it doesn't say it is, I'm going to set that on the floor. So you guys can kind of see where I'm at with that. If you're a little over, you're a little over. If you're a little under, you're a little under. That's why I add a little extra beeswax to help with the thickening. Just to make sure you at least have a medium consistency or a little bit harder. Because a lot of people complain about my salves coming in the mail and they're like, oh my gosh, it's melted, it's not hard. Well, that's because I use a lighter tone of beeswax so it's easier to get out of the jar. You don't want to open up something and have to use your fingernail to get it out and then you're like, oh my gosh, I got too much, or it's not easy to spread. And that's why I have the consistency that I have it. But the easiest part to fix it, throw it in the fridge, let it get hard, and then pull it out and put it on the counter. It's ready to go. Done it a million times. Works every time. Alrighty, so that is in there. We're going to let that go ahead and melt down. I typically have a little wooden stick that I take out and I stir it up with. So this bad boy is melting down, and I think I'm going to add in another batch to it because it's usually fun to go ahead and do it times 4 for me to fill up the pot, because right now it's only like this full. It doesn't take a lot for this batch. This is a very small batch. So imagine doing 10 gram and a half cup of oil would literally probably fill 1 jar. And that could be perfect for somebody at home wanting to make their own salves and don't really want to make a big batch. But for me and my family, I've learned one thing. You do something, you do it big. If you do it big, you got enough to share with everybody else. And that was my goal. So, while that bad boy is melting down, it is very liquefying and I'm not going to want to move it much more. So I'm going to make it so my spout's off the edge of the counter over here. And now I'm going to add in a whole nother batch. I got to wipe that up first. Olive oil is always fun to clean up. And yes, I use baby wipes because I have kids. So it is accessible in my house. Alrighty, so here is my pan. We're going to make a whole nother batch in the same batch because I can fill this bad boy up. Make sure my cord's not touching. Bring you around. There we go. Hang it off on my end. Come on, tear up. There we go. We're at 0. Alrighty, so doing another batch at 90. 90 to 90 is 180, so I can do 180 for these 2 batches at once. And I like to game it up a little bit, so I'm going to end it at 200. If you're wanting to know what 90 and 90 is 180, which is 200 grams, and as you can tell, there's not a lot of beeswax in there. Just said that. It doesn't take a lot. A little beeswax goes a long ways. So, with that, you just gotta remember what you put in your pot because it's like mixing a recipe. If you add too much salt, it's gonna be really salty. So I'm gonna set that bad boy over here on this because I'm done using this for the moment. And now I'm going to bring back my shea butter. Use a paper towel because we are going to add in that. So that's 180 grams. And I typically try to keep the shea butter as close as possible to that 180 or 90 grams that you're going for. And it is exactly 184 grams. So we can put that right in the pot. It doesn't always work out like that. That just was a miracle because it was already cut. I do have 2 more boxes over here of shea butter. So you do go through quite a bit of shea butter if you're making a ton of salves. Like, I order a 10-pounder. This is the box that comes in. Once it's done, the box is pretty disgusting. So, there is that. Now we get to do the olive oil, which is on the floor. Picture is here. Okay. So now we get to do 4.5 and 4.5. I'm at 4, I'm going a little bit above to make that half. There we go. There's my 4.5 cups, pouring it in, and now I get to do it one more time. So, some people might say, well, you should do the olive oil first, this way that warms up and everything else melts together. I've done it that way, and honestly, if you mess up on your olive oil from the beginning of accidentally putting in the wrong flavor, you really throw off the whole batch. And I've always learned to do the olive oil at the end so I never mess up. I make sure I'm reading everything and following, because if I put too much beeswax in, if it hasn't melted or mixed with anything yet, I can grab it and pull it back out. Alrighty, so we all know that this isn't going to fill it, which is okay. We do have another set that is still going. So in my case, I'm going to, will you stay there with me? There we go. Let that drip a second. We got two machines over here going, and we're gonna make this right out of my Levo. So I'm gonna pull this bad boy up. Done dripping. This is hot because it was at 165 degrees. It is now cooling down because once the machine is done running, it doesn't have a heat set on. We're gonna take the lid off. And this is literally the machine I infuse my olive oils in. And this is Dandelion. 4.5. Oop. So if you're wondering what this wonderful machine is, this is literally how I infuse it. This right here has dandelions in it, so I have to clean this thing out every single time. And there's a little mixer in the bottom that you can see, that black thing. That is a magnet that goes in the middle that spins it, so while it's infusing, it's actually mixing it and making it go through the filter. And yes, this is a machine called Levo. It's literally on the lid. Levo. You can see it or not, I have no idea. I think you can see it the way that I had it. It is, I'm not sponsoring the machine, I'm not saying go buy it, that's just what I use, the brand it is. It's the only company that makes something like this that you can infuse your own herbs in here. You can put anything in that filter and infuse it. This thing is awesome. I know they have them on Amazon for half the price. Especially used. I personally have bought 2 used machines of theirs, and I've not regretted it once. Alrighty, pour this bad boy in. Do you get chunks in with it? A little bit if it's on the outside of the filter, but if your herbs are small enough, they won't filter through. And the parts that do filter through, I tend to actually like it because to me it makes it more authentic. But if you don't label your stuff, you're not going to know what it is later on. I can promise you that. At first, I was like, yeah, I know everything of what's in my cabinet, what I cook with. I'm a cooker and blah, da, 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 da. No, I highly recommend labeling it because 6 years later, I'm still coming up to things I'm like, okay, I have to think about what was in that. And it takes me quite a while sometimes to think about it. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. And if you do remember, write it down. Because it is a pain in the butt to be like, well, I want to learn with this herb. I want to learn with that herb. And then before you know it, you have too many herbs that you're trying to figure out and what's in what and where's in where. And the last thing you want to do is cook with something that is wrong. So, I'm going to pull my chair over here because I'm standing. And when I fill my jars, I very much prefer to sit down. So, there's that. We still have our essential oils. We have not added these yet. This is your final step before putting them into a jar. So with that, this is going to literally be, so each batch for me is a squeeze of the dropper, the whole thing. So I have 3 batches in here. I did 3 90s. So when I say 90 gram of this and that, that's a batch size for me. So right there is 4 squeezes. 4 squeezes of this, 4 drops of this, which is lavender and spearmint for me. You can do whichever portion of size of essential oils for you that you'd like. Coffee. Oh, that got cold fast. Wow. Hot water. And then we'll grab some jars. Oh, that's a little better. Probably the only person that can drink watered down coffee, though. And that is not a normal coffee. I'm drinking mushroom coffee. It does have caffeine in it, but it's more mushroom. So, with that, a lot of you have really liked my jars that I have. So, these literally just got dropped off this morning. I gotta grab scissors. And I have scissors. Okay. When you have kids in the house, you never know where the scissors are. Alright, so we're gonna open this bad boy up. I even buy these jars used because a lot of people get them and they don't like them. Because sometimes the lids don't seal, and I personally don't like that, but I can't beat the way that it looks, which is why I have multiple different designs that we use for our products. So, this box is full of a bunch of these little fun jars that we're going to fill. I do leave them in the box. I take them out, take the lids off, and then put them back on. They do not 100% always seal, which is something that is a bummer, and it's just the way that they are designed. I've never figured out why, but they're just so cute. You don't find something like this typically in the store. It's just unique, and I really liked it, and it's a small jar. It's easy for kids. It's easy to travel, and on top of it, I've dropped them a ton of times, and they don't break very easy. So that is one reason why I very much like these. I am keeping it in the box because you can get jars everywhere, and this is one thing that's easy to keep in the box when you're filling. So I'm gonna put this one up here. I do have a second box here. So we're just gonna crack this bad boy open. I do buy jars from the Amish around me, although there's a lot of people that don't have that option. So I've never had a card come. For more inquiry and contact, blah blah blah. That's new. I've never had that before. That's something new that company started. But that's the brand that I use. It is a 2-ounce jar, and it's something that you can buy on Amazon. It is a whole case of 24 jars in here. If you're looking to make Christmas presents, I swear it's like the best jar to make them. And if you're worried about your salves leaking, add more beeswax. Make it thicker. The thicker it is, the harder it is to melt in your car and all that. So it's a personal preference of what you want to use. With that, I do have... Okay, let's try my best to actually move this correctly. Alright. And that one. Oh, awesome. Okay. I have one lesser of a box than I thought I did. That's okay. We'll make do. We'll get through it. Don't need any more tubes, that's for sure at the moment. Or 2 jars. I am going to need more others. Alrighty. So this is another box from Amazon. And these are 20... Is there a sticker in here? Usually there's a sticker. I don't remember all the time. No, I'm sorry. There's a 44-ounce jars in here with lids. Trying to find it with the best price and also being able to see your salves is a pain in the butt. But that's what drives it being your own manufacturer of your products. You have to figure out what your best prices are, where to buy them, etc. I used to buy them from the Amish and then realized it wasn't the best price. And on top of it, the Amish like to also change their own products. So you have to be careful. So they come with free packaging, easy to ship back to Amazon. Because I do know I'm sold out of Dandelion Salve on Amazon right now. They come with cute little labels that I will never use, but my kids have a ball with stickers. I'll throw that over there. And we have all of these. This is hot, ready, set to go. And I really like these jars because they're flat. There's no designs on them. They do have the brand on the bottom, and they have a flat top. I know some people are like, well, I really like the lids that have the separate seal from the tightener, and for my salves, this works out great for me. I like these. You can get a whole box for like 40 bucks, just about, of 40 jars. Great for Christmas presents, great for making different things. You can even have your kids put bugs in these and be able to look at them. There's a lot of different things you can do with jars. So for me, I'm going to put this whole box on the side because this is all that I have of my 2 4-ounce jars. And, okay, I'm going to try to not spill my coffee now. Oh, there's the marker. They also come with a marker on the inside, but on the labels, which is really cool and useful, but I don't use it. So, I love these because it literally comes with its own tray. Once you put salves in it, I wouldn't recommend holding it like this, but they go and they stick in there. They ship easy. I love it. You can't buy this at the Amish like that. But when you buy things on Amazon, everything you want to come, not broken, that's the way to do it. The lids are never too tight on the jar, so it's very easy to fill. And literally, I set it on the counter and I just grab one after the other and put it right back in there and set it and let them cool down. So, my next fun project. This is the part that's the pain in the butt that everyone doesn't like to do usually. Is the last jars that I'm going to be using. Alrighty, let's get the other box that I already had pre-opened and used. This is the funnest part of it all because you can't hold these while you're filling them. These will be the tins. So, in this box you have these really cool tins. They got the sealer on the inside of the lid. There's your 2-ounce tin. You cannot overfill these. It is a pain in the butt. If you've ever tried to fill a jar and actually measured it, I've grammed out a whole one of these, and to fill it exactly to 2 ounces, you have to have it up to the brim. If you want it to be a spectacle and be like, I didn't get all the amount in there, be my guest. But I'll tell you one thing, I hate getting product that you open it and it's instantly oozing out of it. Like, I absolutely hate it. So I can't fill it to the brim, because if I fill it to the brim, it's oozing everywhere out of it. So when this bad boy melts, I'll be literally opening the spout, pouring it straight in here, closing the spout, and I will be over here filling each one of these up. So I put all of these on the counter like this, put the lids in a safe keeping place, let them cool down, and then I come through and I put the lids on. Once the lids are on, I verify that they're not leaking, they're not too full, I don't have to clean them. I start labeling them, sealing them, and ready to go. Are they really cool to use? Absolutely. Do they are claimed to be leak proof? They do. Can I prove that? No. I have people that carry them around in their pockets and the salve melts because of the body warmth in their pockets and everything, and then it leaks out. I'm not a big fan of these, but for some people that can't get their fingers into jars or they don't want a glass jar, this is a great alternative. It's a personal preference, which is why I have 3 different jars for the exact same product. Because I also have had the question, oh, well, you have all these different jars, Sarah. What's the difference in them all? Like, are they all the same? Does this one have something different? No, it is literally one batch, different jars. It is all the same. If it is a dandelion, it is dandelion. It has all these same essential oils, same products, everything is made in the same batch, and I fill. I try to make it as easy and simple as possible. I'm going to use this dish for my lids, because sometimes you don't know how many of these you're going to fill, and if you're doing these last, it can be a pain in the butt. If you're pouring and pouring and you're like, uh-oh, we don't have enough, and then you're pouring and having to open more up as the batch is cooling down in your pot, and if it cools down in your pot, it sticks to your pot, and then it's more of a pain in the butt. So, sorry if this is loud, this is the loudest part of what I'm doing. At this moment in time, if anybody has questions, you're more than welcome to pop them up as I'm just getting this part done. Our salve is almost getting ready to make. So, you may ask, I'm trying to think of questions that I've been asked over the last week of things, since I don't see any questions popping up, is, okay, you're showing us how to make salve. I don't know if you're new here, I don't know if you've been watching my videos and such, so I'm going to kind of go over what I'm making and why. So, Dandelion Salve, why do I make it? Well, that's a good question, is why make Dandelion Salve when you can go to the store and buy a product to go ahead and help with something else, but it also has a slight side effect to it too? Why do we want to use something that has a side effect? So, when you make Dandelion Salve, you end up connecting with nature, you get to look into the product itself, and you get to know about it. When you get to know about something, you get to connect with it. When you get to connect with something, it actually helps you. So, I believe God put something in our lives for every reason. I'm a Christian. I look at everything from a biblical standpoint, because I also get worried that people confuse me with witches. And if you want to call me a Christian witch, be my guest, but I just qualify myself as a herbalist here in Michigan, and I use the dandelion to its most potential to bring the light to other people. So dandelions are completely edible from the root all the way to the flower. The seeds go ahead and spread easy to go ahead and plant more. And dandelions can pick actually where they want to grow. They can grow in the most hardest places, which is quite an outstanding feature of the dandelion. And dandelions can also not grow in certain areas because some people use weed killer, or their grass or soil is specifically so good that the dandelion doesn't need to grow there, because the dandelion actually shows up in some people's lawns because they're missing something in their lawn and the dandelion can replenish it. And dandelions also are very good at taking out toxins of the lawn. So if you're going to collect dandelions, please ensure that you know where they are coming from. Make sure you know that they've been good for 7 years and not been sprayed for mosquitoes or pests or fertilizer, because you don't want to put any chemicals in your body. Please do not go out and just eat a dandelion. You could literally hurt yourself doing it. But if you know that it's 100% safe and organic, like I have a friend that's had 100 acres for over 100 years, I was able to go out there, pick, collect to my heart's content. My dog's eaten it, I've eaten it. You can deep fry dandelions, you can cook with dandelions, but please ensure that they are safe. But today, we are not cooking something to eat. This is not to be eaten. Dandelion salve is to go topically onto your skin. So with that, dandelion salve is great for aches, pains, bruises, sores, arthritis, all natural first aid. You rub it anywhere under your skin. It is a chemical-free salve that is so safe, you could eat it, and it will not hurt you. And I'm not recommending to eat it because it will not taste good. But my corgi, on the other hand, has proven a whole jar of it is so good that it makes her coat shine. And it didn't hurt her one bit. And you can go ask your vet, well, my dog ate the salve. Well, what was in it? And you bring up the lavender and the spearmint. The vet's going to go, oh no, that's horrible for the dog. That could kill your dog. I have spoke to vets. I actually have a friend that is local, and I said, hey, I make this. Can you tell me? She goes, well, I would tell you right there and there that you could have killed your dog. And I'm like, well, it didn't kill my dog. And then I was telling her the dosage of what I actually have in my salves for the spearmint and lavender, and she goes, well, your dosages are so low, that's why it didn't affect the dog. We don't fill our products full of things enough to hurt animals or anything like that. Thank you, Roomba. I know you're there. So, if you have large quantities in your salves, yes, it could hurt your animal, but my quantities are so low, they're not going to hurt your animal. It's not going to smell too much. I grew up in a family where the boys in my house, I was the only girl besides my mother, and the men hated smells. They were like, this is too potent. We deal with a lot of dog shampoo, and it was just horrendous. So I've just decided always to make sure there's enough in there for us ladies to smell it, relax, be able to use it on our temples, our forehead, and on our body to help us feel better, but also not overpower it so the people around us can still enjoy our presence. That's the way I look at it. I need a better coffee cup. This is cold again. And I haven't even been that long. Alrighty. I'm going to go get us a wooden stick so we can spin this up. I can guarantee you I don't have enough of these little pins out, most likely, but I only have so much counter space. So, that's going to be fun. Alrighty, so I need to go and grab my turning stick. So I will be uno momento, because I know I don't have that in here. Alrighty, turning sticks. If you are not familiar with cooking, many people know this in the food sections of Walmart and Myers. You can buy this little cute baggie of sticks. Could I use a spoon or something else to stir this? Absolutely. Do I want to clean it? No. I prefer to use one and be done. So I just pull out one stick and I use that for all my batches usually within that one day. Yes, the one end is pointy, the other end is flat. So you can kind of see it with my black shirt a little bit better, I think. With that, I stir. I'm not picky on the type of wood that it is. I'm just glad that it's wood. It's not plastic. I'm not creating more chemicals. Because if you're one of those people that are all into the plastic and such, my husband brought up, he goes, well, you should just make your salves in plastic containers. And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, okay, so you want how much plastic contamination? Because plastic will leak into whatever you put it in. And he just stopped dead nuts and looked me in the eye and went, that's a good point, I didn't think of that. So, I do have a few chunks still in here, which is why I'm stirring it. When you stir something, you're obviously mixing up the heat. You're going ahead and evening it all out, because the edges are the only thing with the heat. And my pot is about this full, right underneath the handle that I have. Alrighty, and just like that, we are melted. I do got 1 or 2 chunks still in there. Do not drop your stick in the pot if it doesn't stay out. I just about lost it myself. So with that, some people will take a cold spoon and ensure the thickness of the salves. In my case, I've done this so many times I don't check the thickness because I just pour it, and by the time it cools down I can tell. So there's that much in a dropper. We got 4 batches, so 3 batches, 2, 3. Once everything's melted, add your essential oils. Essential oils do not go good when you're heating it up and melting it. You can actually ruin the benefits of the oil before you even get it into the jar. Oh, this is my pain in the butt jar. I can't open it. I do suffer with carpal tunnel and arthritis in my own wrists. So when I'm making this, usually my trigger finger acts up. Okay. This is gonna be my friend, I can tell. If not, I'm gonna go outside and grab my hubby. This lid likes to stick. There we go. Which is why there's very little in it, because I don't like it to be over sticky. Alrighty, with that, I'm going to take my dropper, and we only need 3 drops of this. So yes, that little amount will last me quite a while. So we have 1, 2, 3. And all that goes right back in there. You get to tell I barely used any of it. Like, yeah, this dropper sucks it all up, but I only need 3 drops. Not much is needed at all. Could I keep it in this thing upside down? Yeah, but it's kind of pointless at that moment. So with that, I am going to put my lid back on loosely if I want to make another batch. And at that point in time, my stick that I took out does have salve actually hardening on it. It's not dripping anymore. You can look at it and actually see how fine it is. And it's turning out to be actually really nice. So our thickness and consistency is pretty spot on. As you can tell, I didn't grab a spoon to go ahead and see the thickness of it. I just went ahead and used a stick. Don't waste products. Mix it up. I'm going to turn the temperature down though to under 100 because it is nice and warm and melted now, and it will keep it nice and warm. But we don't need to keep melting because we're mixed. We just need to keep it warm. With that, I'm going to set my stick on the side, and now the fun's going to begin. A loose screw on my chair. Alrighty. Well, at least I'm not going to lose a screw. I'll fix it later. So this is my favorite part, is I get to sit down and fill. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that with the video here. Could probably move the pot over here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing is what I'm thinking. Because I hate to fill all this and you guys be like, we can't see you. That's kind of pointless. So I'm going to double stack these up so they're out of the way. Alrighty, I think you guys can see the pot, can't see the spout. I try to always have the spout off the counter, so trying to see it that way is hard. I also put a piece of paper towel on the floor because it does drip and you don't want to slip and fall on it, or you want to really make it really easy to clean up. So here's my piece of paper towel. I'm going to place it down here on the floor. Okay, we're not rolling up. I'm going to watch myself burn myself. Okay, there's that. I have an extension cord, so I'm going to throw the plug on the other side of me. Get away, thank you. And of course, dealing with anything hot, always be cautious because it is very easy to burn yourself, and please take safety precautions. If you need to wear gloves, please do so. I don't wear gloves. I've burnt myself. I've dropped jars, and it is splattered all the way up my clothes. It is a part of the job, you could say. So I can put this on the counter and literally just take the cap off. And yeah, you can see the spout. Okay, cool. I couldn't see the spout before. I fill up each jar. Personal preference, I'm going to have full. Glass jars tend to take longer to warm up, so you can hold on to it long enough to put the lid back on. And I let it drip a little bit. And you'll notice that if you have chunks from your olive oil still coming out, like this one has a seed petal in it. It's really cool. I like seeing things like that float because you know it's the authentic dandelion in there. It just gives it that resemblance. And even if you buy a dandelion off of Amazon, 100% all natural organic, you can infuse your own olive oil at home and go ahead and use it. It's really cool. And I'm just going to fill up this whole case like this. Well, thank you. I appreciate you commenting on my hairstyle. It's nice having long hair again. I can actually put it in a bun. I cut it, actually, I shaved it off 2 years ago, and now it's finally grown back. And I'm like, yes, I can have my ponytails again. Alrighty. Woo! There we go. Another jar full. It's just a wonderful process. And if there's anybody, I've had customers come up to my booth and say, oh my gosh, that stuff sounds so cool, great, but I would need like a 55-gallon drum. Can I make a 55-gallon drum? Absolutely I can. That's easy. You just have to be able to melt it. So Dandelion Salve is easy to make as long as you have the right things to make it with, and it makes a really cool gift to give it to somebody else. And being able to share this amazing all-natural product with others is special and spectacular. When I started making dandelion products, my family didn't support me. They looked at me like I was a crazy woman. I can't really blame them since my mother was gluten-free for like 10 years, and the food that I had to eat as a kid, let's just say, I may be gluten-free, but I don't listen to it. I like my food. I like eating the way that I want to eat, and when I know my body needs something different, I listen to my body. I've learned how to listen to my own body. And when I can make something at home that's all natural and make Christmas presents out of it, and you mean I don't have to go shopping and worry about Black Friday? Booyah! And one of the things that I get told quite a lot by different people is, well, you make all this product, you gotta be like making so much money off of it. I don't get paid. I do this because I love it. The money that literally comes in goes right back out into making more of it. I literally don't pay myself to do this. This is something that I love to do. I love to be able to give people with something that's affordable. I don't put products out there being like, oh yeah, this jar took me so and so much to make and I'm going to charge 3 times that price so I make some moolah. No thank you. I'm not about the money. This is not about the money. This is about God's creation of me sharing His love for others. And as a business owner, I am a Christian business, but I do not shove that down my customers' throats. You want to talk to me about God? I am happy to talk about it. If you just want to tell me about your experience with my products, I love to hear it, good or bad results. I love hearing it all. I'm an open book person. I like to connect with everybody. My husband has really tennis elbow. Yes, it will help with the elbow massively. There's people that even have knee replacements. I have a lady at work. I gotta slow down. I notice I'm talking really fast. So I have a lady at work. She now buys my salves, but I was so scared to ask her for years. I've been at this facility for 6 years, and within the last 2 years, I've been blessed with her buying my salves. She has had 2 knee replacements. She has weighed probably 300 pounds or so, somewhere around there. And she's now trying to lose weight, but she's always struggled because her knees have been so painful and her feet have been so painful. I've had people with trigger finger, I've had people with arthritis, etc. and other skin problems to where like, I don't know what to use, I don't know what to do. But this lady at work, she was about ready to go get knee surgery and I said, use this. I gave her a free sample and she said that wasn't enough. And I said, okay, I'll give you my whole jar that I had in my desk that I've been personally using. So like half of the jar is gone, like one of these. She took it home with her. And this woman is a woman that she doesn't hold back her ideas, thoughts, or anything. So my website is naturallyinspirational.biz. You can actually find that on my TikTok, right under in my bio section if you need to, but I am naturallyinspirational.biz. So she went ahead and took the jar with her. She went ahead and knee surgery, came back, and she is a person that, oh, the doctor gave me this, I have to take this. They gave me a body cream, blah, 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 blah. And watching her for the next 6 months after that, she had used my salves, and she walks up and she goes, I want to order more. I was like, you do? This makes no sense. You actually want to order more? And she's like, I actually really liked it. It helped my knee. I am not on pain meds. I am not taking their antibiotic cream. And she goes, I even went back to my doctor and said, have you tried this shit? Excuse me? Have you tried this? And the doctor just looked at her like she was a crazy woman. And she goes, this stuff works. I don't have to use anything that the doctor gave me. And the best part is, it helps your healing by 10%. So it's not just topical, it helps internally too. So if you have arthritis, it actually pulls it out of the bones. It helps pull it out. So this way you actually can function again. It helps your body to be better. And it's just one of the amazing things to know somebody that has constantly gone to the doctor, had weight problems, and their body is just totally in toll with it. I even have another friend at work that I actually gave him a whole jar, and I said, I want you to test this out. He bikes every single year. He does 5,000 miles on his pedal bike. That's a lot of miles. And he actually just bought a really, really nice bike last year. And I didn't realize that a lot of bikers, they're constantly down on their handlebars. And that can cause arthritis in their hands, in their wrists, and their hips because of how they ride. But he's very passionate about this. This is his hobby. That's something that he loves. Well, every day he would ride his bike to work, which is probably 20 miles one way. Mind boggles me. Well, I really hope it does help. I also do have some on Amazon. You just have to make sure it's the brand Naturally Inspirational. I do know Dandelion Salve is out of stock, but I do have other salves available on Amazon because I also make Yarrow Salve, Yarrow Dandelion Salve, Yarrow Dandelion Calendula Salve. And each label is a different color, like Dandelion's yellow that I'm sold out of, Yarrow is a green label, Dandelion and Yarrow is a blue label, Dandelion Yarrow Calendula is a purple label. And I do know the other 3 salves are still in stock on Amazon, and if you order on there, it will probably be a 2-day shipment straight to you, probably in the US. But you guys sold me out of Dandelion, so I'm restocking. I do have it here, so I can ship it out from here if you want Dandelion off the website. Yay! Thank you for the gift badge. So he went ahead and rode his bike every single day. And his wrist hurt, and I said, I want you to try this. So after a month of him trying it, I came into work one day, and he's in the break room, getting ready to go out to his shift, and he just takes the salve, takes a glob of it, and this stuff is a little bit that goes a long way. When I mean a little bit goes a long way, I'm serious. A little bit of this yellow salve goes a long ways. You take out that much of this bit of salve, you're going to do your whole arm. And he was just rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm rubbing it into my arms. You just want to really lather it in and really work it into the skin. I've never seen anybody rub so much product into their skin in my life. And he goes, this is what I do every single day when I get done riding. Because my hands and wrists hurt so much, they're swollen. This stuff takes the swelling out. It is amazing. I have even had my daughter get stung by a bee. And I even, 2 booths ago that I had, a lady came up, she showed me her hand, and it was all swollen from a bee stinging her at the show, and another woman came up, and she goes, I just got stung a few days ago, and I'm still swollen from it. Like, I don't get it. If you swell from a bee sting, yes, you're allergic. There is different levels of allergicness. Some of it is, it just bubbles up where it got stung. Some people don't bubble up when they get stung. But if you get stung by a bee and your whole body flares up, you are massively allergic, and you should have an EpiPen. And then I've also known there's people that have EpiPens, and the EpiPen's not enough to even affect it, so they have to call 911 to get another EpiPen or go to the hospital. So, yes, there's a way to deal with allergies, and yes, there's other things that you can try. This is one thing that I do. I make Dandelion Salve. I've used the Dandelion Yarrow Calendula Salve for my, at the time she was 3 years old. She's outside playing, she got stung by a bee. I brought her inside, and I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're not doing Band-Aids. Band-Aids are outlawed in my house. I don't like Band-Aids. It hurts when you pull them off. Your kids cry, they hurt. What's the benefit if your kids are gonna cry and hurt? Like, really. I get keeping the wound clean, but it's like, leaving it on there for a long period of time really isn't worth it. And if you put salve on it, it's not going to stick to the skin if you get everywhere. But with a bee sting, make sure that the stinger is out. Make sure that that is all the way out of the body. And once I verified that, we cleaned. We have detected, interacted, current live completing a variation to continue current live. Okay, this is new. Okay, now I will continue. So, making sure the stinger is out of the wound, and then washing it, obviously, to make sure that you have nothing else on the skin. Go ahead and make it have a reaction. And typically, all of us will clean a wound, especially if it hurts, just to make sure it's clean. You don't want it getting infected. Then you can take your salve and put it on the wound. Within 5 minutes, my daughter was running back outside, happy as can be, playing. The bee sting no longer hurt. The swelling went down. Within a half hour, you could barely tell she was stung. All you could see was the hole. She swelled up in pain, crying, and all I did was put salve on it. And she was back outside playing with no problems. It's the best freaking medicine in the world. Okay, I mean, put this on a flat surface, because that is hot salve, and hot salve, you want it to melt and stay at the level that you put it at. So if you're making your own jars, you can keep it in the box, but don't put it at a slant, because then with it being hot, you do have the tendency to where it could leak through the lid, so make sure it's flat. So this way it looks nice and pretty and flat in the jar. Because I know some people are all about things looking very presentable, very professional. In my case, I like to be as professional and presentable as possible. But when I'm going to a show and everything spills in my car, and by the time I get there, some of it doesn't look professional, but hey, it's in there, and it's ready to rock and roll. And it can still do the job that it was intended for. I do make another salve with dandelion olive oil, and that is tallow salve. If you don't know about beef tallow, a year ago, I would not have even guessed myself to be at this moment in time explaining what beef tallow can be beneficial for, because I hated the smell of it. I refused to use beef tallow. I refused to put another animal's fat on my skin. I hated it. I was like, this is disgusting. Well, and then I went to another herbalist nearby that I didn't realize lived nearby. I literally was like, I need a massage. Booked a massage appointment, got there, and she goes, I no longer do massages, but I have a lot of other things that I do. And I went, holy moly, I have a herbalist near me. It was a eye-opening, wonderful moment. And she, I was there for like 2 hours trying out different things, and she brings in different beef tallows, bear beef tallow, deer, venison. And then she goes, well, the main one that everyone uses is just beef tallow from the cows, obviously. And she goes, you have no idea how beneficial this is. This is so close to our skin. It's an anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, helps the healing, great for moisturization. It does spread easy on the skin, but it's not too much. This stuff spreads miles. That stuff doesn't spread as mileage. And on top of it, you can have it whipped or unwhipped. Some people like it whipped because it's more fluffy, easier to get out of the jar. I actually liked the whipped very much at first, and then I got into the solid, and I realized the solid was a lot easier to rub it on my fingers and rub it on my face. This way you can actually get that anti-aging, get that anti-inflammatory, help with the wrinkles, help with the healing, help with the acne. And on top of it, tallow is so beneficial for our skin. There are so many vitamins in tallow that people don't even realize. Tallow is the closest thing to our skin healing that it literally puts vitamins back into your skin. A, K, C, etc. It's just mind bonkers. So, of course, I had to get my hands on some beef tallow, all natural organic by the Amish. I hunted it down, took me 3 months. Finally bought some, made my own tallow. I will never turn back. Everybody, even the lady at work that bought the original Dandelion Salve for me for her knee pain, now buys my tallow salve because it works so much better. She goes, my healing is like 5 times faster. It goes into the skin so much more easier. It moisturizes, it helps. The only thing that I don't like about it is it's beef tallow. If you have a dog like I do, If you want your feet licked for hours and hours, just rub this on your feet and they will lick your feet for hours and hours. I can promise you it. It's beef. It smells so good to them. But you can use this on your pets. The salve that I'm making right here, I've used it on my pets' hot spots. I've used it constantly. I am a pet owner. And I like things to be as safe as possible. They can eat it. It won't hurt them. They can lick it. It won't hurt them. It will help heal them. And it's all natural. And of course, no Band-Aids. Which is a win for me because I hate Band-Aids. But Dandelion Salve is very beneficial. There's lots of other herbs out there that are very beneficial that you can go ahead and use. Well, thank you, Betty, for your order. I got it. Woo-woo! I'll have to ship that out after I'm done here. So, my Dandelion Salves have lots of benefits to them. Whether they're in the beeswax and shea butter stage or the tallow stage, they are two very different salves. This one is yellow, and it will harden as a yellow because of the beeswax. And I go ahead and love making my products and love making other people smile. I love the fact that I can hand a jar to my kid. They wake up in the night. Thank you for the gift badge. And they're like, oh, I got a boo-boo, my butt hurts, or my elbow hurts, or a bug bit me, or a spider bit me. And we all know if spiders go ahead and bite us and we swell up, well, this is the cool thing is I can hand them a jar, open it, and say, okay, you can put as much on as you want. Not going to hurt them, not going to hurt anything it touches. They can take it to bed, set it on the side of the bed. I have a 4-year-old, and since she was 3, I've been giving her own salve to be able to put it on her own boo-boos, and she loves it. It helps make them feel independent, helps them to feel safe, helps them to know that they are capable of doing something themselves, and on top of it, kids love picking flowers. I can go anywhere and they'll yell, Mom, dandelion! And they'll go pick it. Even if it's not a dandelion, they're picking it. They love helping me. But sadly, it's also being a herbalist mindset to ensure that what they're handing you is safe and it's a learning experience for you with your child, because my kids will pick out other herbs like Queen Anne's lace. Well, in my area, hemlock is also well known. And if you know what hemlock is, it is another poisonous plant that looks like Queen Anne's lace. So you want to ensure that your kids are collecting herbs that are safe for them and to help them to identify. This is something that they can use later down the road to go ahead and help them to learn and understand about plants that many of us don't learn. I have many people that think, well, Shia knows all about these plants because of her mom and dad teaching her and all this and that. No. Everything I do, my parents did not teach me. I grew up in a dog company to where I learned about sharpening equipment, fixing dryers, fixing clippers, how to cut hair, what's the right scissors to use, do you want a thinner, do you want a chunker, do you want a corrugation, do you want a convex, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you want to shampoo your dog, well, what kind of coat is it, do you want this, do you want that, do you want it to be more shiny, do you want it to be more smooth, is it coarse, etc. I know a lot of dog products. None of that entails into being herbalism. So, my family doesn't make wine. My family doesn't go out and make a bunch of stuff like this. They don't go out and pick herbs. I didn't have a grandmother that was like, oh, well, I make this and we connected. I ended up actually leaving my parents' company, and I was like, I want to find out what God has for me. I started working for a lawn care company, and I didn't realize how dangerous it was for a girl to door knock. I've actually almost been kidnapped because of it. I had people trying to take me into their houses, put me in their cars. I'm like, I even asked my boss, I'm like, can I carry, please? Because I have a license to carry. And he goes, oh, no, you can't do that on the job. Well, after that, I gave it 2 weeks, and I said, this isn't happening. Even I could have my service dog with me, and I didn't feel safe. I was like, this is not the job for me. And I ended up walking away. I made it 3 months, got insurance, and everything, and I'm like, nope, not for me. But from that job, it sparked an interest. Okay. It is the beginning of spring. Dandelions pop out at the beginning of the spring. Just like right now in Michigan, it's getting cold. It's warm, it's cold. It's warm, it's cold. Well, dandelions pop out during that time. But dandelions only pop out for the first 2 weeks of the whole year, because at springtime, they literally come out and blossom. You can drive past fields up here, and it is just yellow. I have collected dandelions to where usually it's like, follow the yellow brick road. And for me, it's follow the green path through the yellow brick road. Because you're literally walking through a field full of dandelions, and you can literally see the path of where you was picking. I actually have special tools for picking and such, and if you want to learn how to pick and you're local to Michigan, or you want to come in for our picking session, we do post it in a group about an event that you can join. And this year we actually have a special guest coming that is from Detroit to help us dandelion collect, to help teach everybody hands-on and such. Really excited for that one because I've never had anybody join me. I've been doing this for 6 years on my own. And I always try to share and invite people to come out and learn about the dandelions and be a part of it. Some people come collect and take the dandelions for themselves, and others come to collect to have the conversations and help me collect so I can continue making my products. Thankfully, I am blessed because every dandelion that I collect and keep, I freeze dry. So I picked 55 gallons of dandelions 2 years ago, and I'm still working on those dandelions to create this wonderful product. And it has been a true blessing to be able to not have to be like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough dandelions to do everything with. I have enough, and I can create enough products to make everybody happy. And it's a true blessing because of the people in the community that have come together to help me collect. And those that have volunteered their time to come out into a field, listen to their own music, have a fun conversation. And it's just a fun way to connect, to learn about a plant, ask questions. And it's truly just an experience that you can't really explain to others because it's just something unique in its own way, and I offer it for everybody that wants to join. Alrighty, so our 4 ounces are full, the 2 ounce jars are full, they are still hot. I'm going to move them, and then I'm going to show you guys how I fill these bad boys because I got about that much left in the pot, which should be about enough for these. So, I'm going to move these out of the way. Nope, I'm on the tablecloth, not what I wanted. I'm going to grab my lip balm because my lips are dry. Some air in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I actually have a lip balm in my purse I can show you guys. This is one of my favorite products I make. This is Dandelion Beef Tallow. It is a 1 ouncer that is $12 that I sell. And oh, I love this stuff. This stuff is all natural, great. I love it. It, as you can tell, beef tallow is white. And this product that I was just talking about a little while ago, I love it. Really easy to rub it on your lips. Easy to take your finger and get it out with. Easy to travel with. I've never had one of these tins leak. I love this stuff. Beef tallow doesn't melt easily. It stays very well sustained in the state that it is in. Once you put it in a container and it hardens, this thing can be in my car. It could be 130 outside, and this stuff will get soft, but it won't melt. I can flip the whole thing upside down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best product in the world. This product right here that we're doing right here, Dandelion Salve with the beeswax, shea butter, it does melt in the heat. And if you tip it, it will spill. That is the biggest downfall that I've ever had with products is the sun, the heating vehicle, never being your friend. But when it comes to beef tallow, it was like a whole new world for me. I was like, ooh, can't imagine living in California and everything just melting. Alright, I'm going to move my cold coffee out of here because I'm obviously not going to drink that. With that, we have this wonderful thing right here that we're going to use. I'm going to put it right under here. And I just fill her up. So I fill it about halfway full, so it's not over full, not too much weight, just enough. And my table is tilted backward, or these things aren't, right? Very easy to pick up, pour it, and then I shut it off, let it drip a minute. The first batch that you always put in something like this, it's cold, so it's got to warm itself up, so half of it is going to kind of melt and stick to it. Hot, 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 don't grab the pot. And then we just pour it in. And yes, you can buy other things to be able to pour it, but I've used this since I actually used to use a double boiler to make my salves. And now I use this wax melter to make all my salves to make it easier, less stuff to clean. And I use this to pour in all of my tins. It has been a lifesaver, easier to control, easy to pour. Easy to clean. I love it. Do-do-do. Alrighty, back in for another batch. Whoa, fell off the counter. I saved it, we're good. So one thing that's really cool with olive oil and heat is that if you leave your pot on, it will slowly, consistently push the olive oil to drain, whichever way is the down way. It is amazing. It's like self-cleaning. It's really cool to watch how olive oil separates and you're still getting drips into your pot. It is something that you don't typically see every day, and it's just really cool to watch. I like watching weird things, and this is just one of the things that's cool, to watch it all ball up and continue rolling because the pot's still hot. Even though I did turn it down, it is still warm enough to where it makes it a consistency to want to stay melted. And the only reason I'm able to hold this pot and tip it is because the thing that I'm pouring it into is balancing on the counter, thankfully, so I'm able to do it. And now we are done, so I'm going to turn the hot pot off, close my valve. If you really want to do deep clean and clean it, you can put olive oil in there and let the olive oil heat up and then rinse it out, or you can put water in there with soap and wash it. There's many different ways that you can deal with it. That one's full. Another thing you got to keep in mind when you're dealing with tins, this is aluminum, and aluminum and heat, they do not mix. So that's why when you fill something like these, you don't fill them and then be like, oh, I'm going to put the lids on them and move them. No, you're going to fill them and you're going to let them harden. Or you're going to end up burnt or with a very big mess on your hands, because aluminum fluctuates under heat. So your best bet is to let this cool and do its thing. With that, I'm not going to have enough for a whole nother tin. So is there any more that I can just give a dab to? Do. I can add some of that one. Go. And you gotta watch making sure they're not too full, because you can overfill them and then put a lid on, and then it just goes everywhere, and it's a pain in the butt. Alrighty, so that batch is done. My pot is off. That is hot. I'd probably melt something if I sat that on it. And it will harden with it in it, and I just let it go. So I have a bunch of other tins that I didn't use on this batch. We are going to make another batch, though. So if you want to learn how to do it, we can do another batch. And of course, I just told everybody that you don't want to move them when they're full, but I'm going to try to move them back toward you guys so you can kind of watch them harden. This is going to be fun. I did wipe off the counter, so it shouldn't stick to anything. You notice I'm not picking them up, I'm just slowly moving them, and yes, this is hot. And I'm making sure to try to move them away from the phone so you guys can kind of watch them harden as they're going before we start our next batch. Because these will harden up, and I'll probably be able to put caps on them here in about 15 minutes. Very easy to spill, so you always want to be precaution. Okay, move this out of the way. And once these bad boys spill, it's waxy wax everywhere. Best way to explain it. Alrighty, so does anybody have any questions at this time before we start another batch? Because I'm not going to walk through the amounts and everything. We're just going to fly with it since I've already explained it once. Unless somebody here really wants me to explain it again right now, I'm happy to. No comments popping up. Okay, we're going to start. Alrighty, my bad boy over here is full of lids. Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you from your nap? Or are you sleeping? Alrighty, so I use this big bowl tin, put it on there. We're gonna tar it out. Probably do 2 batches and be done. Alrighty. Got a bowl of beeswax here. More. Okay. More than enough. Okay, beeswax is done for now. Warm the pot back up to at least 110 degrees is what I shoot for. Spout is off because sometimes you accidentally leave it open. Unless you don't want his beeswax all over your floor, because that is a pain in the butt to clean up just like a spilled candle. Alrighty, so we are done with the the bowl. And we're going to need shea butter. Fold this bad boy. Tar it out. Okay, you're going to need a good decent chunk. Try this chunk right here. You got way too much. Okay. No problem. We can fix that. We're just going to chop it down to what we need. So take out that big amount. Getting closer. And typically, yes, I do all this on the same table, so I'm not making a mess on the floor, but my counter is a little full at the moment. There we go. Little amounts go a long way, and then it's easy to just put that back in the pot because we're going to be done making that today. This can be picked up, put into the pot. Again, we are only making 2 batches out of my recipe that I have today. Pour that in. Voila. Alrighty, this can go over here. When you use shea butter, that stuff sticks to you like crazy, so I'd recommend having wipes or something to wipe your hands off with because you will be greasy. That stuff is like conditioner. Once it's on your hands, it sticks to your hands. And in my case, probably like, man, that's gotta be nice having that stick to your hands and dandelion olive oil sticking to your hands. You gotta have no problems with your hands. I mean, for the moment, it's just slippery. I can't grab anything. Alrighty, so that bad boy's done. This is done for now. Put that in my box because we are cleaning up for our last batch. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. That's the recipe card. This is a really quick recipe card for you if you really want to make it yourself. I do have it in my book, Dandelion Magic, as well on my website. So if you didn't get it, you can go ahead and go on there and get it. And now I need olive oil, which is... Okay, now I know what I'm looking for. Because I don't have it in a container. Oh, almost spilled so I can see it on the counter. Okay. I got to do 2 of these. You guys are going to see what I actually infuse my olive oils in, because this is a fresh batch that I did this morning at 7 a.m. So it's called a level machine, and I love these things. It's one of my favorite machines that I get to use to go ahead and create our salves. It helps make it so easy. If you're doing infused olive oils at home, you're planning on taking 6 months to at least a week to make it. This level machine does it within 5 hours. Talk about a lifesaver when you're making something for a Christmas present. So once I empty this, I actually leave it in here to where this is sitting on the spinner, so it consistently drips, so I actually get the olive oil out. So I put the cap back on it if I can. If not, I'll just let it sit here, which I will. Darn it, stay. I want it to sit up and drain. So I do 2 level machines at the same time because it fits almost a full 3-liter bottle of Kirkland brand olive oil that you can buy at the Kirkland olive oil. Kirkland brand is Costco brand that you can buy at Costco. I do not represent Costco. They are not presenting this video. It's just what I buy because it's all natural, organic, and cheap to buy from Costco. And with that, we will have 4.5 cups over here. Boop. And drip. Alrighty, so there's that one. And I do have a little bit of olive oil in a container if we don't have enough left. Because, like I said, the whole 3-liter doesn't fit. So you do have to kind of majigger it a little bit. There's a little bit that doesn't get infused, but it's so potent that you'd be surprised. Alrighty, so there it is. As you can tell, it's recommended to strain this stuff because olive oil and dandelions tend to stick together. Alrighty, and I'll go grab that container. Those continue to leak. Alrighty. And this one is dandelion. And there we go, half a cup. And no, you do not want to go over with olive oil. If you go over with olive oil, it will create your salves to not have that thick consistency. You have to watch your ingredients. You want to go overboard with an ingredient, beeswax is the one to go overboard with. You can never go bad with beeswax. Thickness is great because then you know it's going to be nice, thick, melt easy, ready to go. So I'll pour that in. This is the last batch that we're doing today because I am going to be out of dandelion olive oil and I could create the other products, but I wanted to restock Amazon to make sure it's in stock for everybody. And I had a lot of people asking me, how do you make it? How do you do this? Congratulations, today's the day. So, with that, everything is now in our melting pot, so we're going to wait for that to go ahead and get melted. It's at 110 degrees, and I do have my stick here, but I like to wait for that to melt. And usually in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to melt, I go ahead and pull out my jars that I want to fill up. Like, I still have a half a case of 4-ounce jars that I could fill. I have another box of 2 ounces that I could fill, and I have tins. In this case, we're going to pull out a lot more tins because I want to fill up as many tins as possible. Because I do have quite a bit. I have 20 jars of 4 ounces, but I don't have that many of the 2-ounce tins. So I do have 24 jars already full of the dandelion olive oil salve. But the tins did not get that close. I only got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the tins filled. So we're going to probably do more tins on this one just to go ahead and fill it up, which will fill up my counter. And like I said, you fill them up, you don't move them. You let them cool down because they're very easy to spill. And beeswax with shea butter and everything everywhere can create a very big mess. I have realized that if you get it under your clothes, it can go ahead and give you a greasy look staying on your clothes. Depending on how good at cleaning you are your clothes is a personal preference. My grandmother would look at you and be like, oh, that's easy to clean. In my case, I've tried cleaning it. Just throwing it in the washer is not enough. So, we have all these wonderful tins here. So I'm going to fill up the counter with what we got. And go from there. Because we need some tins. Alrighty, so this is our stick that we're going to use to mix with later. It's still warming up, melting, so we got time. There's our 2 jars that we can use. And of course we have our tins. Creating dandelion salve can be a processy thing, but within 1 hour I've created many different sizes already. And if you're looking for a great homemade gift Christmas present, right now would actually be a really cool time to make this product. Like, it's really easy to go out and buy dandelions on Amazon now. Like, you can buy dandelions, infuse your own, or you can go ahead and purchase from somebody else that already has infused olive oil or whatever oil base you want to use, because some people prefer castor oil. Castor oil has its own benefits. Do I use it in my products? No. Have I bought products with castor oil in them? Yeah, I actually use it on my own head. Castor oil has a lot of different benefits. But the reason I don't make a ton of products with a lot of different oils is because I am a single mom. I have 2 kids. I work 3 jobs. I don't have time to make every product in the world. But I am happy to show people how to make it themselves. To go ahead and, some people can't use olive oil, some people can be allergic. But it doesn't mean you can't use it. It's all personal preference of what you want to use and go with. And this, I have been a herbalist now for 6 years. I've been making my own products, and I am still huffing it, but you know what? I love what I do. When you love something that you do, it doesn't feel like you're working, you're just doing something that you love, and this is something that I love. I love making people smile. I love making people feel better. I love being able to look at somebody and be like, I want to make your day better. And I want to do it by not just praying for you, but I want to do it by giving you something that's going to help. And I can do that through my products. I make homemade dandelion wine. It is something I can't legally sell. I'm not licensed or anything, but I allow people to give me a $20 donation so they can go home and enjoy it themselves. It is something that is easy to treasure, and not many people do it anymore. It's a tradition that grandparents used to make years and years and years ago that I have learned on my own of how to make it and how to do it. And it's all thanks to the little town that I grew up in, because I found a winemaker in my town, and my winemaker went ahead and directed me on how to make wine and how to make other products, and I was able to take that knowledge and turn it into all this. It was a blessing. God provides the people in your life to where you want to go. If one door opens, another door closes. It will shoot you in the right direction. Got all the jars out of that box. And now we're going to move on to this box. Because yes, I'm filling up my counter. And yes, these are noisy. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. That's why I typically don't do lives when I do SAS, because I blare music, I jam out, and I enjoy my time because it's something I love to do. It's something I can focus on. I can do it one-handed. I don't need help. It's something I find relaxing to make, is Dandelion Salve. And there's some days where I wake up and I'm like, my hands are not going to want to function with this today. It's a pain in the butt. I hurt. I ache. But I get up. I get everything in order. Take a shower. Try to make my day better. Have coffee. Doesn't really help. Then when I start doing it, I just feel good doing it. It's just amazing. And yes, I do spill. Yes, I have it on my hands. And yes, it does make me feel better. I actually have trigger finger, and it is a pain in the butt. This finger right here will lock up. I could be tightening jelly jars because I make dandelion jelly. My trigger finger will act up, and oh my gosh, is it a pain in the butt. It hurts so bad when it locks up. You can't tighten anything, you can't do anything with your hand, and you're just like, go away! And you think working with the dandelion oil would help, but considering I'm constantly having to wipe it off my hands means I don't get the time to soak it in while I'm making anything. But after I'm done, absolutely, I rub it all over my hands and I let my hands rest, and I don't have trigger finger again. It's gone. And thanks to my father, I have carpal tunnel. So I also have to be careful using scissors because my hands will lock up. I can't do this motion. I can't do a spray bottle. I could do a spray bottle for maybe 2 minutes, and then I have to switch hands and continue spraying. It's a pain in the butt. My hands will lock up. They hurt and they ache. And it's just like, I shouldn't have that pain. And I do. And it's just something I now have to deal with every single day. And there's things that you can't fix or change. They're just a part of who you are. And I've accepted it. So from there, I just do what I can to make it feel better. Okay, we are down to some big chunks in here. Do. Boop. Drippy droppy. Boop. Alrighty. So I gotta let this go because the chunks in here are pretty big. They're larger than a quarter. So you want your chunks to be nice and small before you start adding any essential oils. You can use whatever you'd like in your batches for essential oils, but for me, I stick to lavender and spearmint in all of my batches to go ahead and keep it a nice consistency, along with all of my salves being the exact same scent. I don't add too much to make sure that it's not too overly potent or anything. So I grew up in a household where men were sensitive to smells. So I've learned to try to make it to where everybody can enjoy it and not be overpowered or walk into a house and turn around and walk back out. Looks like somebody's filling up a hole outside. Alrighty. Since this is almost ready, I will say if you're wanting to make your own salve and you go on Amazon and buy your own beeswax, I highly recommend that you read the fine print. And what I mean by that is I've been buying beeswax off of Amazon for a very long time, and the beeswax that I'm using is still the beeswax that I bought on Amazon, which is the reason why my salves are the prices that they are. But I've recently discovered that most of the beeswax that you buy on Amazon has to qualify through the FDA, and to qualify through the FDA to make it safe for skin and all this and that, it is more beneficial to buy beeswax from a local bees maker that has bees, that has beeswax, that sells it, and 1 ounce is usually about $15. If you can buy them in a larger batch from them, it is more beneficial, For me, I specifically wanted it in pellets, so I had to actually find a brand that makes it organic and all natural so that I know exactly what's going into my products. And the Amish actually sells this product, which is why I know it's natural and organic, because they trust it. And since it is the original beeswax that I started making my products with, I've decided to go back to them, which means once this beeswax is gone, which will be next year, starting January, my products and my salves, the price is going to go up. It's not because I want it to go up, it's because I'm going to use a better product in it to make it more beneficial for all of you guys. Because if you've been a previous customer of us, you may have realized that some of my salves have little white spots in them. And this doesn't hurt the salve, doesn't hurt you. It's completely natural. It's the type of beeswax that I ordered from China, and I've discovered that throughout the beeswax that I've been getting, it has come in smelling not like beeswax. It is actually dyed. It has colored the bag that I've ordered it in. And I know one thing of beeswax. It should not have a dye in it. It should be 100% natural and organic. It shouldn't have a different smell. It should smell like beeswax. And that's what completely stopped me from ordering from China. The 2 last packages I got, I shipped back. I said, I can't use this. It doesn't smell like beeswax. And it's obviously got plastic in it. I currently work at a plastic factory, so I'm very familiar with hot, melting plastic smell constantly. And within the last actually 2 weeks of being at the facility, I'm like, wow, I can really smell what plastic smells like. It smells like melted beeswax plastic, and it's just, ugh. So when you actually get a good beeswax, it's not going to dye it. It's not going to make it a different color. And I actually have a bag I can show you. I don't know if it's got a label on it, though, because I buy it in bulk, and they don't got labels on these. So this beeswax I bought by the company, and they actually ship it through Amazon. You can buy these on Amazon as well. The price is a little bit higher, but it's much, much worth it. And it is called Stackich Industry, STAKICH Industry. And they have their own beeswax, and this is the beeswax that the Amish use. So it's all natural and organic. There is no plastic in here. Like, if you actually hold the bag up, you cannot see any yellow on this bag. This is a all natural beeswax, to where the other beeswax that I have ordered from Amazon, you'd literally be able to see yellow on the bag. And that is a dye. You don't want dye in your products. Whatever you buy to make your salves with, you're putting it in your body. So you want to make sure that whatever you're using is all natural, organic, etc. because you want it to work for you. You want it to be safe and organic. And I ended up buying 80 pounds of it just to go ahead and give me that discounted price, because $15 an ounce, oh golly gee, I feared how much that would have costed all of you guys, and I'm like, I do not want to be charging everybody $50, hypothetically $50 for a jar of salve, because nobody's going to want to pay that, even though it's natural and organic. It's like, okay, Sarah, let's keep some money in our pockets here. We're not just forking money out to you. No, what you're paying for is natural organic products. I'm going to ensure that it's that, but I'm also going to try to get it at a rate so it's beneficial for everybody. Because I hate going to the store and being like, I've been buying this for years, and oh my gosh, it jumped up $30. Why? We all hate those days. Those are the people that are, if you're like me and something jumps up that much, you're like, oh, you jumped up that much. Okay, time to find a new company. And that's just the way it goes. So I try to be as cordial with all of my customers, friendly, hands-on experience, and I love sharing my knowledge, which is why I'm talking about all these little itty-bitty things that I deal with every single day. Alrighty, so all this is melted, so now we get to add essential oils. So I buy California lavender. This is what I use in all of my batches. I've tried to get it locally in Michigan, but nobody in Michigan has been able to contact me back in order to get me something all naturally local, and so I am still using this from California. And now I need to use a spearmint, and the jar is still over here. And this one does not have a label on it because it is naturally made in here in Michigan, and I have a big jar of it, but they do not have a label on it. But my dad has always purchased this from this person for years for his own products, and he offered it to me, and so I bought a jar. And for example, a 16-ounce jar of pure spearmint oil here in Michigan, and I mean, it is the thickest most potent that you can get it was $500 for a 16-ounce jar. It was quite nuts. So with that, I'm going to stir this around a little bit, make sure that essential oil gets in there, gets mixed in, it's all nice and even, and then we'll start pouring it. And then I'll start talking about the benefits of our salves. This way you guys can get a little bit more knowledge on it. It may be a repeated story unless somebody has a question. If it's great for anything else, I'm happy to answer. Alrighty, I don't think my stick's gonna leak anymore, so throw that bad boy away. It's probably gonna poke my garbage bag, but that's okay. Okay, there's my pot. Now the fun part. Pouring, and lots and lots and lots of pouring. For me, it's a lot of shoulders to be able to do all these jars because I specifically control the pours, and I have a tendency of locking my shoulders up, so I have to be careful. Which is why I typically do my jars first and then I do my tins last, but I really need tins, so now it's the tins' turn. And I call these tins because they are called aluminum tins that you can buy that are 2 ounces. Alrighty, gotta let it drip so I don't get too much on the floor. There's one last drip. And here we go. So I had a lady at one of my first booths at Midland Antique Festival at the fairgrounds. And I had a lot of samples made out because I knew nobody knew my company. And I was handing out Dandelion Salve samples to every person walking by. And being a salesperson my whole life for my family, I know how to identify some people that may be struggling with arthritis and all that in their hands. And one lady specifically walked by and I could tell her hand was crippled. And I offered her a sample and she turned me away. I said, well, it's free. I'd like you to try it. She goes, it won't work. And I said, well, why is that? And she goes ahead and tells me her story, which tends to be 30 minutes long. So I'll give you the abbreviated version. She has arthritis in her hand so bad that she literally has to peel her fingers open and closed every single day to go ahead and use her hand. She can't pick up her grandkids. She can't call anybody on the phone real fast because she can't function her fingers. She's literally opening and closing them every single day. So with that, it's hard. She goes, I've done different creams. I've done different surgeries. I've had different doctors and nobody can fix it. I'm broken. And nothing is going to change it. The doctors have proven that to me, that there's no way to fix it whatsoever. And I said, can you try this for me, please? I'm new to this, and I've heard lots of amazing miracles with Dandelion Salve and people using it. And me being a newbie herbalist, I was like, this is something that I would really like to know if it would help with. And she knew how truthful I was with my statement, and the salve sample that I had was a 1/2 ounce at the time. It wasn't a one-time size use. It was a multiple size use. And I no longer have those sample sizes available. Just so you know, it's a little baggie of a one-time use that you get now. It's a free sample you can get on my website any day. It is one per customer, and if you're looking for Christmas presents to hand them out, yes, I can ship more than just one. I am the owner. I can do, if you communicate with me, I'm happy to work with you. So I ended up giving her the sample. 6 months goes by, 3 months goes by. It feels like forever since I've seen her, and I'm like, great, she probably tried it, didn't work, and she's unhappy, and she doesn't want to contact me and tell me. And I had no way to reach out to her. I gave her all my information, and I'm like, well, all I can do is sit here and continue doing what I'm doing. So I ended up sitting at home, and I had an order come in on my website, and it was for pickup. So I contacted her, and I said, yep, you can come up this day, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know who she was. I just knew there was an order placed. And she had bought Dandelion Salve, and she also bought 2 jars of dandelion olive oil. And, of course, with all my customers, I appreciate their support in my company and believing in me, but what I wasn't expecting was the best review of my life to walk through my door. She walks in my door, and she goes, you will not believe it. Do you remember who I am? I said, they're all the people that I have seen at different booths because I signed up for every booth possible. And seeing multiple different people at different shows, it kind of mixes together, so you don't identify everybody all the time. And I was able to get to the point of understanding that she was a lady, that her hand didn't work, and I had stopped her and we had talked, and I said, yes, I very much remember that conversation. And she says, well, today I'm back because it works. And I said, what do you mean it works? And she said, well, you told me to give you a review, whether it was good or bad, and I know that it's been a hot minute since I've given you a review on it, And I think now's the time that I finally give you my review. Especially since I'm ordering more. I was like, okay, well, I am ready for your review. I'm surprised. When she stood there and told me that my salve had helped her so much functioning with her hand, she was able to lift up both of her hands and open and close them like there was nothing wrong with her hands to begin with. Now remember, she had already had pre-surgery. She's done different creams. She's done different stuff. When she started using the salve, she told me, she goes, I went to the doctor and said, you won't believe this. You got to look into this. And the doctors were floored. They couldn't understand why all of a sudden her hand was working. They that doesn't make any sense that the dandelion would be a benefit, that it would be that much beneficial to your body to be able to function something that stopped functioning. And when she told me that her hand started working again, the look on her face of happiness to be able to pick up her grandkids is an expression you can never forget or not feel, because you all know that grandparent feel of being able to pick up your grandkids and seeing them and the smile on their face. It is something that you treasure and you always will, and you hate the moments that you don't get to see them or that you miss out on opportunities. It just bears into you, and I understand that. And she got to miss out on so much, and thanks to this product she was able to get more and help her hand be able to function, not have to deal with shots, different creams, and it's something all natural and organic that she could use on her hand every single day. That testament has been with my company for years now. That was like when I was a 2-year-old company, and now I'm 6 years old in my company, and it has been a true blessing of a speech that was a true testament to my products of when I first started making them. And so many people don't realize dandelions are so beneficial. They just mow them over, or they're a pesky weed in their lawn. And yet we have so many weed killers out there, and so many people don't realize you're buying weed killer, but yet you're killing the health industry. Sure, we have all these different meds, but if you actually look deeper into it, there's a lot more about it. It's not even funny. I shared a video a long time ago about the health industry and dandelions and Roundup. If you start Googling Roundup and the medical industry, you'd be quite surprised at what accounts they're connected to. So, in my case, I just make my own products and I try to make everybody smile, and I try to make the most of it. So that's why I create Dandelion Salve. I try to make it so people can be home and pick up their grandkids and not suffer with all this. And one of my favorite things about my product is I also make dandelion tea. And dandelion itself is just massively beneficial, but it also fights cancer. So if you know somebody fighting with cancer, a pet fighting with cancer, this is also beneficial for that. I also just released a book on it as well. So if you want to go ahead and read on that, you can also Google up my name, Sarah Whitman, on Amazon and read about it. It is a $9.99 book that I just came out with last month. And it is amazing how the dandelion fights cancer and gets it out of your system. And people in the old days knew what they were using, and nowadays that tradition has been lost over and over and over again. And yet, you have no idea how many pesky weeds could be in your yard that you could beneficially use in your house. It is nuts. And sometimes they grow in abundance. And I tell myself every single day, if God made it grow in your yard, He made it grow there for a reason. Nothing is a coincidence. On my shoulder I have Nunca Façade Spray for Dijos. I could have murdered that. It's Portuguese. It is said, it is never luck, it is always God. And yet, if we knew about all these beneficial weeds that we deal with every single day, you'd be surprised at how beneficial that you could actually change your life. And just like that, we are done with our salve today. My pot is off, and I'm all empty. So voila, there you have it. We have this salve up here is cooling down to harden, and this is all nice and fresh. You can kind of see the color difference on the camera there. So, welcome to How to Make Dandelion Salve with Sarah Whitman at Naturally Inspirational. We try to make everything all natural and organic and answer as many questions as possible for those that want to create this at home, or go ahead and purchase from us and support us to be able to give a family member or yourself an amazing experience with all of our products, as all of our products are made with love and true understanding of wanting to connect with everybody, as plants are truly something that we appreciate, adore, and the dandelion is what we mostly focus on. But of course, being a herbalist, I do know many other herbs and plants, and that is why we also have yarrow and calendula book coming out soon. But yarrow magic is out as well if you want to learn about yarrow. That is an amazing plant that I recommend reading up on. It stops bleeding instantly. I also have a salve based on it. I absolutely love it. And the dandelion is beneficial for arthritis, but it doesn't stop bleeding to where yarrow stops it. My grandmother can nick herself in the kitchen and she'll bleed for weeks. She could be on blood thinners. I don't ask what my grandma takes or what she's on, but when she nicks herself and she says, Sarah, you have a mission to figure out what I could take to make it stop bleeding, I say, yes, Grandma, I'll find it. And guess what? 2 weeks later, I had a salve in her hand and she tried it, and she doesn't have to use any other creams, but that has been a lifesaver. So we have 4 different salves. We have Dandelion, which is right here in front of you. This is going straight to Amazon to restock, and we will also have it on our website available as well. I have more inventory here at my house, so I can personally ship it to you. It is in stock. So if you are interested in our Dandelion salves, we have them available. We also have Dandelion and yarrow together, which is the blue label. So Dandelion is yellow, Dandelion, yarrow are blue. You can have best of both worlds of both of these plants. We also have yarrow by itself. So you can get Dandelion or yarrow, and you can buy them separately if you don't want to mix them, but we do have them together so you can have best of both worlds. We also have Dandelion, yarrow, calendula. I ended up making this one with calendula because calendula is just so amazing. I ended up making this because you find all these different salves and creams for pregnant people for not having stretch marks, and I was pregnant with my second child and I didn't want to have stretch marks, so I ended up Googling calendula and creating my own products with it. So I knew it was chemical free, all natural and organic, and I've kept it in stock into my business this way other people can also benefit from it. So you can have dandelion, yarrow, and calendula all in one, and it is massively moisturizing, works. I didn't get stretch marks from my second pregnancy. I used it as diaper cream, nipple cream. My kids use it as bee stings. It is a first aid salve to replace all other creams in your cabinet. It is truly something that I recommend everybody having in their house. So with that is all that we have for today. I gotta let this cool down and we are done making our salves. And even after this is done, if anybody has any questions, you can send me a message, ask. I am happy to go ahead and answer any questions that anybody could have. And I appreciate everybody joining me today, and I hope everybody has a blessed day. Have a good time. Bye.